My name's Bear Irwin. I work for UW Police Department, and I have done so for about 8 years. So this is a safety presentation, a little bit about US laws, a little bit about Madison, and a little bit about some of the dangers that are general for UW students and some that are specific to international students. So here we go. These are some great shots of the Union. You've had a chance to enjoy them already. We're going to talk about health and safety. The Union, this is what it looked like before the pandemic. It's pretty much about the same now with a few less tables, and hopefully we can keep it that way. So a little bit about us. The UW Police Department is a full-service law enforcement agency. There are about 60,000 students on campus and staff, and so we're a small little city onto our own. That good-looking guy is me, right next to Spider-Man there. And what we do at UW Police Department is we put human rights at the core of everything we do. That's what we think about. We think about your human rights and your life safety above everything else. After that, then we start looking at protecting your property, your things, and those sorts of things. All right, so we've been living in a pandemic for a while, so this isn't news. Masking and social distancing are still the way to go here on UW campus and kind of everywhere in Madison. We've done a really good job with vaccines here on campus, so we hope to be able to start pulling back some of those restrictions, some of those mandates for masks, as soon as the doctors and university officials feel that it's safe to do so. So for moving around Madison, Madison is a small city. It has some of the problems and crime and dangers that a big city has, but not at nearly the same rate. So we recommend that you share your travel plans, take your earbuds out of your ears when you're walking around, especially late at night in Madison. Try not to be too invested in what's happening in your phone. Keep your head up and look around you so that you know what's happening. Especially cars would probably be the most dangerous, but we've all had the feeling where we're walking late at night alone and there's a group of guys or somebody that's paying what seems to be too much attention to us, and it makes us feel pretty unsafe and uncomfortable. So seeing that happening early on can go a long way to helping you stay safe. One of the things I focus on when I teach my active threat response on campus is for folks to trust their instincts. When you feel nervous or scared, the hair on the back of your neck stands up. There's usually a really good reason for that. So trust that instinct and give UW Police Department a call, even if you have a hard time defining why you feel that way. But along with that, sometimes our instincts, sometimes our unconscious biases can lead us to misjudge situations. Fortunately, UW police officers have a ton of training and a ton of experience with handling situations gently. So just because you think something is happening a certain way doesn't mean the officer is going to go crashing into the scene and start accusing people. Our police officers slow down interactions, examine each situation carefully before rushing to any judgment. All right, protests, marches, demonstrations. These are some of the wonderful things about UW-Madison. It has a long history of hosting protests, sit-ins, marches, students, faculty members, and community members expressing their disappointment and their disagreement on important issues. Please feel free to join in. Please feel free to organize your own. Disagree, argue your point. But what we ask is that you don't threaten others or speak abusively towards them. And then there are a handful of other rules that the Chancellor's Office, Dean of Students, or the police department would be happy to let you know if you are organizing a protest. Certain little rules like you have to hold up your signs by yourself. You can't put them on a stick because sticks can become weapons. It's little things like that that we want to let people know about so they can have a good and safe protest. All right, Madison at night, especially during the summer, it's gorgeous. Again, the biggest danger is people in their cars who may have had a little bit to drink, who are leaving a brightly lit parking lot into a dark street. And if you're wearing dark clothes, you can be hard to see. And a speeding car that doesn't see you is a pretty immediate and big danger. Again, trust your instincts. If you are about to cut down an alleyway or walk down a side street and you see some people that make you feel uncomfortable, trust your instincts. Don't take chances. You can give UWPD a call and walk to a place where you do feel safe. Be careful about using some of the rideshare services like Uber or Lyft. Madison taxi companies like Green Cab and stuff like that, they do background checks on their drivers. Their drivers have a brick and mortar company that they are responsible to and can get fired from. So we know and trust those companies, those taxi companies. Uber and Lyft are almost always safe, but one thing you want to do is you want to check and make sure that the ride is absolutely there for you and not for someone else. You can look at the license plate and ask the driver who they're there to pick up. All right, lock it up, everything. Most of the theft on campus is unattended items or unlocked items. Very few things are actively broken into, with the exception of bicycles that use a cable lock. I can snip a cable lock just like that with a snips that is small enough to fit in my pocket. And the U-lock takes an electric cutting tool that's really loud and creates sparks and a lot of attention. It takes a long time. So an expensive U-lock is really the way to go. Every once in a while they do get cut, but it is few and far between, whereas the cable locks are cut several hundred a year and bikes are stolen left and right. Cheap bike and expensive lock. That's the way to go. All right, we've got some emergency phones on campus. There's about 60 of them that are tall and red and say emergency on them like that. They will connect you instantly via 911 call to UW Police Department. There's at least twice that many, about 140 of them in parking ramps and elevators around campus, places where you could be stuck in a corner where it'd be unlikely for other people to see you and be able to help. We work closely with the City of Madison Police Department. If you are off campus, the City of Madison Police Force is the right place to call. If you're on campus or in a residence hall, UWPD is the way to go. If you're unsure, just call one of us. The second we hear your location, it only takes one moment to transfer you to the other police department and make sure you get the right folks. We have a safety app that is offered. It's on the university's website. It's also on our UW Police Department website. It's called Whisk Guardian. That app, you can have it on your phone and you can make your parents or roommate or friend your guardian. You can set a timer on your phone in the app for 15 minutes, however long it's going to take you to walk home from the bar, the library, etc. And then your phone will alert you, hey, the timer's up. If you don't turn the app off, it'll send a message to your guardian, your friend, who can then try and call you and remind you, hey, you set this app. And if you still don't answer, then it will give a GPS location of your phone that your friend can give to the police, and we can start looking for you. It's free and available all over. Buses in Madison, they're great. They're safe. They run on time for the most part, and they're the way to go. I love our Metro Transit. They're very helpful. And they often work with police when there is a problem on the bus or somebody tries to escape police by getting on a bus after doing something harmful. Safe Walk. These guys are great. They always work in pairs. They work in the winter months because it gets dark early from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. And in the summer months, they work from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. They do get busy at certain times, so call ahead. And they will walk you anywhere on campus with the exception of Eagle Heights and the hospital. And they will walk you off campus up the Langdon Street corridor and around State Street and a little bit south of campus as well. I'm really flying through this, so stop me if you have any questions. Scams. We're going to spend quite a little bit on scams here. Scams are, as you probably already know, it's when somebody tries to steal money or something else of value from you, like confidential information, by tricking you into giving it to them. We're going to go through a few types and I'll give a little explanations here. So immigration scams, these are especially tough on exchange students, and they can be really scary. It can be people who look exactly like the local police from where you came. They can do it via video chat. So they show you uniforms and lots of people in an office building, and they claim that you have done something wrong, or they have a box of fake passports that's addressed to you. They might verify your parents' name, your family dog name, and their address and the phone number, and show you a picture of your parents' house to make sure that you know that they know all about you. They're going to tell you that they believe you that you didn't do this, but they don't have enough money to start the investigation to clear your name, and they have to give their boss somebody. So they're going to revoke your visa and throw you in prison for this unless you're able to give them all of the money you came to school with to help them start the investigation into the real bad guys. The truth is, they are the bad guys. They're trying to scam you. There are even professors on this campus that have been bullied into believing this, and individuals have sent away as much as $120,000 on one scam. It is really, really spooky. Give us a call. Don't talk to these guys. This is always a scam. One of the biggest problems is once you wire money from your bank, it is gone. Your bank may have up to 10 minutes to try and stop that, but after that, the money is gone. The bank that you have wired it to is likely in league with the organized crime that is doing this, and you'll never see it again. So please, please, please don't fall for that one. Tax scams. The International Revenue System, IRS, will absolutely never call you and say you owe money. Job offers. Even some of these go onto the UW-Madison Jobs Board. They try to get them off there, but some of them sneak through because there's so many. The job offers can be everything from secret shopper, where they're going to ask you to compare retail prices for goods, or immunization worker, or COVID tester. They might even be a professor saying that they're moving to campus and they need an assistant to help set up their office. It could be somebody who speaks your language from your preferred language, and says that they're sending their student here and they need a tutor to tutor them in English or math or anything. What they intend to do is send you a worthless check, a check that is not connected to any bank account anymore. They're going to send it to you for as much money as they think that you are willing to believe. Then at some point, they're going to say, oh, you know what? Something changed or something happened. We need you to send some of this money back. And they're going to do that within the first few days before your bank knows that the check has no money behind it. Your bank will do you the favor of assuming that the check has some money behind it, that you trusted this person, and will show the money in your bank account right away. Then they will ask you to send the money back. You'll send money back, but what you're doing is you're sending your own money back to them. After a few days, your bank's paperwork comes through and they realize there's no money behind that check. And what you've done is sent your own money on and never gotten any money. That is pretty much the goal in all the employment scams. There's the verification scam. Can be a hotel that you are even at and claim to be the front desk and say, hey, we just need to verify your credit card number. Don't fall for that one either. If that's the case, walk down to the front desk and talk to them face to face. Gift card scams. I've gotten all of these. This will be a whisk email sometimes, spoofed from my chief of police, my boss's boss's boss, saying, hey, Barrett, I'm stuck in a meeting. Can you please run out and grab me $500 in gift cards from something, from Best Buy, Target. I need them for this next meeting I'm in. I'm going to give them out. Just run and grab them real fast and then send me the gift card numbers. And it's absolutely a scam, and it has my boss's name and my boss's email, and it is really tempting to want to please your boss because they're looking to you to save the day. Don't fall for it. Tuition scams. Oh yeah, we've got tuition discounts. Just use our service. There's no such thing. Unfortunately, it's going to cost full price, whatever UW tells you it's going to cost. This is another tough one, kind of like the immigration scams, the drug and fake ID scams. Again, it's the package that was addressed to you that they say they found drugs in, or fake passports, and claim that you're in a lot of trouble with the police and you need to give them money or be arrested or deported. It's a scam. Scams continued, and it will continue. Computer scams, they will flood your computer screen with pornographic pictures, or a pop-up will say you've got all these viruses, lock your computer and demand Bitcoin to unlock it. Unplug your computer, shut it down, take it to Do It or some computer tech place and see what they can do to fix it. Do not give them any money. Giving them money will encourage them to double down and ask for twice as much money, and then twice as much after that. Online love interest. This is one that is not only can cost you money, but it can also be embarrassing and hurtful. Someone pretends to be someone they're not online. They may even use pictures from the last person they scammed. And they, once you have sent them embarrassing photos, nude photos of yourself, even if your face isn't on there, they will threaten you that they will send these pictures on to everyone on your Facebook list, your mom, your grandma, your friends, and show them all your embarrassing things, unless you either give them money or, in even worse case, meet them for sex. And it is awful and hurtful. Please don't send any naked pictures. Just please don't. It's never a good idea. Actually, in Wisconsin, if someone has naked pictures of you, like a boyfriend, an ex-boyfriend, or an ex-girlfriend, it is perfectly legal for them to share those pictures with anyone they want, so long as they're not doing it for money. If you took naked pictures together and they shared them with all their friends, as long as they're not posting them online for the general public and doing it for money, it's perfectly legal for them to do that. So please don't let people do that. The other one might be that you are having an emotional connection, either via messaging or even with photos with someone, and then the person will claim to be a parent and that you've been accidentally communicating with somebody who is way too young and that you are in a lot of trouble unless you send the money. Please, again, do not send the money, do not contact them anymore. And you can prevent it by being very careful about engaging in that stuff and not sending naked photos. All right, warrant scams. Someone will call you or email you and claim that you have a warrant for your arrest unless you pay a fine. The police will never, ever, ever do this in the United States. The way that we do that is, the way that we satisfy warrants for arrest is when we find someone who has a warrant for their arrest for whatever reason, we tell them who we are face to face, and we arrest them by court order and take them to jail until they can see the judge or pay their fine. And that is exactly how we do it. It's the only way we do it. We don't do it over the phone. Lottery or inheritance scam. Again, somebody passed and left you a lot of money, or here's money from the lottery you didn't know that you won. Congratulations, give me all of your account and personal information so that I can make sure that you get what you deserve. Don't fall for that one. Same thing for the marketplace or Craigslist selling items scam. That one's kind of like the employment scam where they will send you a large check and then say, oops, that was too much. Please send me the rest of it back from your bank account. Again, the check will have no money behind it and you'll be sending your own money on. All right, some themes to these. They will often contact you in your native or preferred language. They will try and intimidate you, keep you on the phone or connected via text for a long time. They will intimidate you to do things quickly. They will say that you have to do this now. We only have an hour until some time period is up and then something worse happens. They may use legal sounding language like federal regulations or visa fee. And it sounds really real and can feel really threatening by saying your visa will be revoked and you will be deported. If you have anything like this, contact your folks like Yuri over at ISS, contact UW Police Department, look it up online. I promise you it's a scam. Oops, did I just put this one in twice? Spoofing, let's talk about that real quick. Spoofing is when the caller ID or phone number looks exactly like a credible government or university agency or police. They can do that using their computers. Same thing with email addresses. So it looks just like it is your boss or your friend that is emailing you. It is a scam. Homeland Security, United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, Department of State, and all police agencies will never contact you and demand immediate payment for anything at all. Please don't fall for that. Any legitimate agency contacting you about a problem will be happy to let you verify who they are by looking them up. So if, for example, I called you as a police officer and said, hey, we have you on video camera stealing somebody's purse from Memorial Union. And you said, oh man, I'm really sorry to hear that. But I'd like to verify that you are a police officer rather than just a voice on the phone. Give me your name. And I'd say I'm Barrett Irwin. I work for UW Police Department. You can look up UW Police Department online and call our non-emergency number and say you'd like to talk to Officer Barrett Irwin. And if they say, I never heard of that guy, what are you talking about? Then it's a scam. But if they say, yep, we have him right here, he's awaiting your call, then it is me calling and I'd like to chat with you about the stolen purse or iPhone. So that's an easy way. You can do that with the IRS. You can do that with anyone. And don't use the phone number that they give you. Look it up yourself. All right, still speeding through. Everybody still with me? Take it by your silence that yes, you are. Let's see. Don't cash checks that arrive unexpectedly. Here's something that checks were used a lot by previous generations, and people got really used to how they work. In this generation with Apple Pay, checks are few and far between, so people are unused to some of the rules and things that checks do and don't do. So you see on here what says, wait for checks to clear before sending any money on to another account. Clearing takes about 3 to 5 business days. The check goes into your bank. Your bank does you the favor of assuming that the check is good and that you have done your due diligence to believe that the check is real, because say it came from your parents and you totally believe it. Then they will make those funds available to you right away so that you can use them. They won't make you wait around. But if the check turns out to be worthless, turns out to be a fraud, they don't know that for 3 to 5 days, like we talked about before. So you can always call your bank, which is something that old geezers like me used to do all the time, and say, hey, has that check cleared? And they'll say, yep, or not yet. At that time, you know whether or not you should rely on that money. Probably, if you haven't sent any money yet, if you aren't out any naked pictures or any money, and you've figured out that this is a scam, the best and most important place to call is, or email, is ISS, because letting them know can that there might be a new scam that's out there. If it's something that you've never seen before, this is a brand new way of scamming people, let them know, and they can let everybody know that's at UW. They can spread the good word. You guys, ISS has the student list where they can put it in their newsletter or on their website that here's a new scam out there. Report to UW Police Department if you have lost money or someone has embarrassing photos of you, because then it is a completed fraud, and definitely call us. The Federal Trade Commission's website, identitytheft.gov.gov, is a great place to start in terms of trying to recover from a fraud or a scam. But if you have sent money overseas, it is almost certainly gone. Here's some other websites, but if you feel like you are in danger, if you feel like this is something that is, if someone is threatening you, that they are going to hurt you, that they know where you live, that they know where you are, call 911 immediately, don't wait. Most of these scams originate overseas, and US law enforcement has almost zero ability to prosecute the scammers. In many of the countries of origin, there is an agreement with the local government to say that you can operate these scams and this business, but you may not operate with our URL. You may not operate within our country. So you can do the business here, but you have to scam people from other countries. And it works really well for them. And it makes it almost impossible for our law enforcement to stop it. Just to review, don't reply to these, hang up if it's over the phone, verify they are who they say they are through other means. Do not let them rush you. There is no rush. Use other resources like UW Police Department or ISS to check the validity and stop payment from your bank as fast as you can. Even minutes and seconds count if you have sent payment on and you realize it was a scam. Okay, a couple other quick things about staying safe in the United States. Legal drinking age for the entire United States. Each state sets it, but it is 21 years old. No matter what your experiences in the country that you came from, please don't drink underage in the United States. Drunk driving can invalidate your visa. So if you do have some alcoholic beverages, whether over 21 or under, please don't drive. Also, it's dangerous. Marijuana continues to be illegal in all forms in Wisconsin. There are some states surrounding us. Minnesota, someone can get, for medical reasons, have marijuana. In Illinois and Michigan, you can buy small amounts just for recreational. I believe they have some laws about smoking marijuana in public, but there are, it's very different there than it is here. Federally, it is illegal. That means that over the entire United States, if you smoke marijuana in front of a FBI agent, which is not a thing, but if, for example, you did that, went to the FBI building in Washington and smoked marijuana, they might write you a citation or arrest you for it. Although I think in Washington, D.C., marijuana is recreationally legal. Go figure. Fighting and domestic abuse can lead to arrest. In the United States, this can be as simple as a shove, a punch, or threatening language, abusive language. If you have a domestic relationship with someone, that means you live with them, or you have a child in common, or you are or were previously married. So even your roommate can be, for the purposes of this, because you guys are stuck living together, you have a more complicated relationship than just friends who don't live together. Any punching, any kicking, any of that, even smashing plates and screaming at them can be considered domestic abuse. It can be intimidating and harassing. So in the United States, we have some mandatory arrest laws to make sure that the two parties separate to try and keep everyone safe while everyone's heart is broken and emotions are high. So please be careful with that. Here's just some contact information for us, contact information for Office of Student Conduct. If you do end up with an underage drinking ticket or something like that, it is not the end of the world. The Office of Student Conduct will contact you, and you would hear from us if we were the ones issuing the ticket. And both us and the Office of Student Conduct would be happy to answer all your questions and explain anything that is unclear. And that's it. We did it. 34 minutes. I'm proud of all of us.